I'll try my best to kind of give you like stream of consciousness as we go. And then if there are any moments that are like particularly instructive, I will pause. We'll do mechanical demos as well. I have a feeling it'll be a mix. All right, so we're going to go back right here. You Q and solo. This should bounce high. Oh, it bounces out. I was expecting it to bounce high. I expected that read too. Hit forward. Don't quite get the best touch here. We really want to be getting this ball by this guy, either making it, like a chip touch up or playing it to the left. Were you expecting like this bounce to be higher?
Yeah, I think I just pushed it a little too quickly and didn't get the bounce on it.
That seems correct. That's kind of what I was looking for. In threes, we need to make sure we get the ball over at least one, ideally multiple. Okay, so I think this is instructive. So we're moving around the field here, and let's take in information. Your decisions in Rocket League should always be based on the information on your screen. And anybody who tells you otherwise I don't know how else you would make decisions. Some coaches are like, you should just be aggressive, which is like the dumbest advice I've ever heard, because no, you should look at the information on your screen. So let's pause here, and we're going to break down, where are my teammates? I'm going to ask you a question. Where are both of your orange team here?
On the right side of the field, one looks to be like just on our side of the half line. The other one looks like they're maybe like a third of the way into the other team's side.
Yeah. So you got one guy driving back here and another guy that's kind of high on the sidewall. He might be going forward, might be going back. I'm not particularly sure. All I do know here is that as we see this play progressing, clearly you are the closest, in the best position, and with the most boost to go for the ball.
Yeah.
I think all these things are true. But what we do here is we hit the brakes. Kind of just let them go this way. And it ends up working fine because they don't do anything. But this is quite awkward movement. And I don't think we should be conceding the ball for free. Certainly not. Your teammate's getting backed up. This guy kind of cuts in front. I think you need to be the one driving forward and playing that. But right here, you need to be jumping down, wave dashing, chasing after the ball. And if he's not going, if he's just staring into the sky and not jumping, you should be taking the ball from him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We should be taking the ball from Cobra here, who's just staring in the sky. This is what Cobra's POV looks like. So you just be taking the ball from him. Like fast aerialing, hitting it forward, trying to get multiple touches. Breaking doesn't make sense to me here. I'm curious, what's going through your head, though?
I think I saw him kind of there, and I think I've kind of defaulted to knowing that like people at my rank usually don't even get that hit, let alone hit it into a dangerous place. So I can just kind of wait and see what he does rather than push, which is probably a bad habit to get into, really.
Yeah, you're right that you could just let him flop around, and that's a fine strategy for ones. But in threes, I think it's very dangerous because you just what you do is you let the game happen in your corner and on your side of the field, which you don't want to do. You want the ball to be, you want to be moving the play forward. You want to be controlling the ball. I think you actually had the ball there if you chase.
Yeah.
Here we go for a dribble and a flick, which is fine, but none of this particularly signals like 3v3 gameplay to me. Like in this position, I'm going to just ask you to take in information. Who on blue side is challenging you right now?
Nobody really. I mean, Cobra could.
Cobra could after he goes back, right?
But he's turned around, right?
Totally. I agree. And so in this position, I'm thinking, what's the most threatening thing I can create if given space?
Try to hit it up the sidewall and take it off the wall and like air dribble or flip reset or whatever.
Absolutely. In that position, you had a very easy candidate. I'm going to give you, we'll work on this pack later, but if you were to go to dribble gym, like shot like, I think like the fourth or the fifth one here, like that was like a very easy candidate for like taking the ball to the left. Excuse me, I've flicked it above. Also don't know why the settings might be messed up, but like that was a very easy candidate for a wall to air dribble, right?
Yeah.
And this would, in my opinion, get the ball way further down the field, definitely over one, maybe over two or three. So it's a much more threatening option that you could have gone for. When we're hitting the brakes and dribbling in threes, there's got to be a real good reason for it. This play, I think the first thing I said was like, this just doesn't feel like threes gameplay. Like I wouldn't probably make this decision in threes. just because I don't think it's beneficial to slow the ball down in my corner unless we have a sort of plan to get it away. And that's like setting up an air dribble, right? Here, like, we're just kind of setting up a slow dribble, which you get by one, you get bumped, and now they're going to keep the ball going. Like I said, people at this lobby really don't have the mechanics to create, but like, so their touches won't be good, but yeah. I would still say on a whole shot, we want to be taking the ball much more forward there and not letting the play happen on our corner. Let's go through here. So execution-wise, we don't get what we're going for here. We're trying to cut them off here, right?
Yeah, I have an issue. Like sometimes with my controller, when I try to flip, I don't flip. So I think I tried to flip there and I double jumped instead.
Yeah, that was a candidate for like a speed flip where you'd have to lunge out. You'd really have to reach out to go get that ball. And then we're rotating back here. But here we're making a decision on how to rotate without looking at the play. So this is wrong sequencing. So we'll talk about another decision-making principle, which is, and I think this all stems from like a core concept a lot of folks don't understand even at the high ranks, which is every decision you make in Rocket League is based on the play. And the play is a combination of the ball, teammates, opponents, right? And boost combinations and all the other little, and there are a bunch of other little factors, momentum, etc., positioning that go into like what the play is. But the key insight is your decision should be based on after you look at the play and determine what's needed from you. So if I were you here, I would be checking the play and going, how quickly am I needed? But instead you go, I check the play, I want to go get boost. And you just go get boost until you get the boost and then turn back on ball cam and are like, oh, looks like I should have probably been doing something there, right? Your teammate's getting clipped on. And there's like a camp of like, okay, if you're so late to the play, then just let them go for the attack. But in this position, I'm not convinced that your movement, like I'm not convinced that you had no other option but to turn off ball cam here and go for your corner boost.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, we always check the play first, and we now I can understand you look at the play and go, I don't think I'm needed. Like, and that's like, okay, we have to correct that thought process. But really what I'm trying to get at is what is your thought process, right? Because like if we both need to be able to look at the play and come to the same conclusion if we're high ranked players, right?
Yeah.
The wall. He gets a beat over. It's okay. Looks like teammate's going to clear the corner. Nice. He'll go back. Okay. So we're going to talk about another concept that's really important for Diamond level 3v3. Okay. And this is called leaving the midfield. Players do this very commonly. And so I'm just going to call you out because it's an example. But I probably coach on this once every Diamond replay. And the mistake here is you're rotating back. You're rotating back here, and there is your teammate hitting the ball out this way, and some blue players are about to enter, right? And so in this position, if I'm going to ask you a question, are you being scored on right now?
No.
No. But what we do as Diamond players is we just go, it doesn't matter, they're not getting scored on right now. I'm going back post. This is what I always do. I always go this way, right? So then what happens is the ball comes to the midfield and nobody's guarding the midfield. Well, in my opinion, if I was playing this game, when I was rotating here, I would have been rotating into this position, covering here. And when I saw that ball drop down, I would have taken it. Or if I saw them come in with a challenge, you cut off the midfield. It's the job of the person rotating back to guard the midfield. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is something that I had a session with Torment yesterday, and he said the same thing like 3 or 4 times in another game.
Really? Fantastic. So you could just explain it to me next time. I will. Well, for the YouTube people watching, there's something. You should have cut me off. I feel bad now for just telling you.
No. Hearing it again is never a bad thing.
Yeah. I guess sometimes we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. But
yes.
Yes, this is a prime candidate of like high rank players know, and the reason Torment's telling you this is because it's not some like secret that I've discovered. It's like high rank players know that the third man's job while rotating back is to guard the midfield. So you have to do that. So we're going backboard here. So your movement is just, and I'm conscious of why it is timid. You're in a diamond lobby, and like, there's a 50% chance on any given touch that your teammate's just gonna full whiff, which we see here. But your positioning is just a little bit too passive, in my opinion. Like hugging the back wall here, like we're always going to be scored on at any moment, in my opinion, is not productive. We could be positioned at this, you know, we could position 5 car lengths ahead at like this pad, right? Or somewhere in between these 2 pads. I'm trying to draw it out. It's a little challenging. Still support our teammate. And then when he goes for the shot, you can start shadowing him, right? And still be there in time for the save. But by playing the backboard at all times, you're basically giving yourself no opportunity to get the ball out of your side, right? Or if your teammate takes a 50, you're not supporting him. Or if the ball goes to the midfield, they're there before you're there. It's no coincidence that this entire game has been on defense for Orange Team. And the reason that is because we're like, and I can tell just, I'm speaking on a whole shot here, but like when I watch your gameplay, on a whole shot, you go back post, backboard, and sit in net more times than it is warranted. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And the way that we break that is not just like, Luke told me to play more aggressive, so I'm just going to drive upfield and just sit in their net. That's not the goal. The goal is like, okay, how can we take in information? And that's why I'm trying to like point out these things that are going on. Like, I look at this and I go, based on this information, I would be positioned closer to my teammate here than you are, let's say. So that's what I'm trying to kind of walk through right now.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, because it's not as simple as like, okay, from now on, I'm just going to not go on the backboard. Like,
yeah.
You have to know when and where and how. And I think that's the thing, that being gone for so long, I just don't have that yet.
Yeah, for sure. Matt Yoshi says, yo, what rank are you guys? This is Diamond 1 in 3s, right?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, very important concepts that are not just black and white. Like, I could tell you just play more aggressive and you'd probably play better, but I think long term, in order to teach you how to fish, not just give you the fish, I'm trying to teach you like where you need to look at the play. So in general, mechanically, the precision of our touches, I think you accurately diagnosed that there's some area for improvement. So I think that was a good like self-awareness and a good read. Shock doesn't have a ring light set up. I'm gonna get that set up. So we're going to walk through how your first touches change and how we can get them a little bit more consistent, okay?
Yeah.
Good chow. I love that you pushed up in this position. This is correct. You see a teammate, and I'm not sure if you're clocking this, but there's a teammate behind you. There's a teammate in front of you, so you kind of let him cut for half a sec. Let him make his play, and then when he finishes making his play, you're up next, and you correctly go. And even if you're beat here, I like this play because it keeps your rotation moving and allows, you know, the next person in line to. It's a very simple gameplay that works well at the diamond level. You really don't want to back your team like a sort of clog the toilet that is your diamond 3v3 rotation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yes. No. So close. Thought we were having a moment. Now I see why I picked that replay.
Almost peaked.
Yeah. There we go. Good boom. Go back left. Get the boost grab. Let's move up here. Nice. We might be able to cut off this play. This is a little optimistic. I would probably turn up the back wall and then shadow here. If you want to ego chow, you got to ego chow a little faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can either ego chow or go back. I would recommend turning back. I would not ego chow this, but if you want to, you can. Maybe it works at Diamond to just ego chow because they don't make decisions based on defender, so they just make decisions based on the ball. But like at my rank, if you ego chow that, they would do exactly what happened there. But you're okay. Ball's gonna come here. So this is correct, but then I would turn out to the midfield. So how would my movement change? So you're adequately guarding the midfield here, which is good. The minute I see him whiff, I'm now taking in information, and I'm going, there's nobody to the right side of the ball on blue team right now, right? I'm seeing this guy just went for the ball, and he whiffed, right? Or, yeah, he whiffed. He did whiff. Okay, I saw that right. Yeah. So I'm thinking the first to this ball is most likely my teammate right here, right? And so given that information, I'm thinking this ball is probably going to move forward because there's no challengers. This guy's on the wrong side of the ball, and my teammate looks like he's driving at it full boost. So what I would start to do here is I would start to turn this way. And the reason I'm positioning more aggressively is because I think based on the information on my screen, the ball's going to move forward before it moves back. And I may be wrong. I may be right. This is diamond. It moves back. It ends up moving forward there. And we're sitting in net here, which is fine. Not the end of the world. But in this position, after I clock that whiff, I would be moving much more in this direction. And then if you need to, you turn back. But you're certainly not being scored on immediately.
Yeah.
So I think my movement just changes a little bit in a lot of these situations. So there are some movement tweaks we can fix. I think I've given you probably the lowest hanging fruit that I could possibly give you as far as game sense goes.
Yeah.
So let's progress to mechanics if you're okay with that.
That's fine. Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
Okay, so I'm conscious you had a one-on-one coaching session with Torment, so I want to minimize my repetition of ideas because I know you get I know you have a 30-day training plan from him. So walk me through what you covered. I kind of want to be showing you dribbling setups, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, so we did like some bounce chip shot type of deals of like balls coming over my head, making like a harder kind of power slide turn and hitting the ball off the bounce either to myself or trying to get clears or like shots toward net. There were a couple scenarios in the game that I showed him that I went for an aerial and had a clear beat, and instead of being able to like kind of control the touch, I just hit it to where they were at. So he gave me a pack to like try to deaden the ball off my wheels to go straight down back to myself or like to a teammate.
Yeah.
And then he gave me one of, I think it's a Kevpert, like a wall. Is it wall stops? I think that's what it's called.
We
To
could
like
definitely
touch
drill
the
wall
ball
stops.
up the wall, hit like land on the wall correctly, and then be able to follow it from there.
Yeah. So if you want to improve in threes as your main objective, I think all of those things are correct. You need to... There are many situations you need to be able to do this, but I would say the simplest way I could put this to you is you need to be able to create multi-touches. So if you want to progress through Diamond into Champ and GC, you need to be able to create multi-touches. And what that means is a multi-touch is not... So like what Diamond players get wrong is they think a multi-touch is like dribbling the ball and then flicking it. That's not a multi-touch. Because the idea of a multi-touch is you could play the ball around one defender and then get back to it before the second defender challenges. And the only way that works with a dribble is if you flick it and the other guy's positioned poorly, right? And then you have enough time to jump back up again and get it, which sometimes works, or maybe you could get a bump, but it's not the point. Instead, I'm going to go into this is by our actual coach, Shock, and it's literally just called multi-touches, just to demonstrate this concept to students. But in this ball, what a Diamond player does is they go like this, right?
Yep.
And well, actually, they probably go like this. Well, I gotta miss it, but
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But I just bang it, right? And this is fine, but the problem is if there's somebody challenging you and then somebody in their back corner, this touch is a throwaway touch to the guy that's waiting behind him, right? You can imagine this. So instead, you want to be able to create a touch that you can then follow before the guy who's behind can follow. And this was a little bit heavy, but you get the idea here. In this case, we're playing near the walls, and so we're using the wall to reset or jump faster than somebody else could. And I'm also playing the ball a little bit high here. Maybe a softer touch would be more instructive. So like a touch like this, it's really hard to challenge me in this position. If at any point somebody below wants to go again, I'm almost certainly playing it around a second defender. Okay, and so this is kind of the idea. I'll give you this pack. A lot of ways that you can sort of build on the skill, but I feel like I've been yapping a lot. So I'll take pause here. Questions on this? I just froze for like eternity. Questions on this base concept?
No, totally get it.
So a couple ways you could do like a touch like this. If you can't, speed flipping is, in my opinion, the best way because we can catch back up to the ball the quickest. But if you can't speed flip, you could side dodge here. We just want to be making sure we're not striking behind the ball. This is wrong. You strike behind the ball, it gets away from you. You see this? You want to be striking under the ball. That sort of pops it high and keeps it close. I think this was a good example if you'd want to play it by 2. But even better would be like high, and then you jump out, and then you would hit it again. So ideally, you're getting a touch that's like equally high and forward. I think this was a good example. But if somebody's challenging you, you can imagine how this would beat them, right?
Yes.
So this is a pack that you can practice. It's useful to be able to speed flip both ways. If you can't speed flip, this is also important to add to your kit. And you could always create with like double taps from here and so on and so forth. Okay. Multi-touches can also happen like on the back wall. Like you'll see this very commonly in pro gameplay. They'll make it like a soft touch to themselves. Here, what you don't want to do is you don't want to just do this, and then they just shoot again and score, right?
Yeah.
You want to be making a soft touch, landing on the backboard, and then jumping back out at the ball. And by no means are these like end-all be-all. It's sort of based on where the defenders are. But you can imagine if somebody's challenging here, if I'm making all these successive touches, very difficult. Like you imagine there's a guy pre-jumping right now. I play it around him. There's a guy coming here. I 50 him. You can imagine, you know, somebody's pre-jumping right now. I get a beat on one. Somebody's going again. I get a beat on another. The third comes in. I double it around him. You know, and I'm not the best at this. There are pros who are better. But I hope the concept is instructive. You can imagine you could play a ball off a sidewall and just float behind it and just double it down the field like this. And this is much better than just banging it like that. Because somebody's waiting on the sidewall, they just chow you, right? But if somebody's waiting at half here and you bounce it off here, and then, I'm not doing this the best, but you bounce it off the near sidewall, they can't jump. You hit it again, they can't jump. If they jump at that point, you'd play it around them, right? This is kind of what we're going for. Where you just create these successive touches. So this is a really good pack for that. Any questions on like the execution of these shots? What do you think like would hold you back from being able to do these the most?
Probably just like the consistency of touch, but I think doing them like repeatedly will help me figure out like how I need to hit the ball to make that happen.
Right. Yeah. Some of these are not feasible, I think, at your level. You need like high level air roll control. Air roll left, air roll right. But the ground one would be like kind of a good place to start. I wouldn't venture into kind of these like shots 3 through 5 just yet. I don't think they're very productive. You could maybe do shots 1 and 2. Yeah. Okay.
And that's one of the things that I told him that like I really struggle with, because you saw like the one example in that replay of me. I had a follow on a potential double tap, and like usually those are the ones that I hit it, my car kind of goes flying off to the side, and I have no shot at going after the ball. So those would be good.
Yeah.
Even just practice of figuring out how to touch the ball and not just kind of flip out in the middle of nowhere.
For sure. They will make you much more consistent at those touches. No doubt about it. I would potentially also have you work on some self setups. So we got an opportunity in that game to do a ground to air dribble, and we just didn't take it. We instead went for this play, which is like put it on the car, you know, flick over one, which is fine in a ones game. But once again, like in a threes game, this you could maybe, you know, there's definitely merit in learning how to quickly flick, right? And you will use this in threes. I'm not saying you'll never use it, but if given the option, I would always rather go up here, right? Because now I'm forcing the defense to jump. If I'm given space, I'm doing this, right? It's just better. It's a better use of my resources to get the team to commit theirs, to get the opposing team to commit theirs. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess it's also kind of the similar, like I played center defense in soccer for years, and like the idea of the ball's in your half, you go high, far, wide, not low and right there.
Right, exactly right. You go high, far, and wide, you take it away, and then you try to bring it right back to the center of their net, because that's the most likely place you'll score from. So that's exactly correct. Yeah, that's exactly correct. So I've never heard it that way. So that's interesting. But yes, I would be working on these self setups. I wouldn't go any farther than this. I don't think ground to air dribbles are in scope yet. I think this would create more problems than it would solve for your aerial control. Just at the level you're at, just being conscious of that. But like these like far self setup wall to air dribbles are great. If you could even just do this, I'd be really happy with that. Do we want to go through a couple pointers on these self setups?
I think the hardest time that I have with the self setups is that initial touch.
Yeah, so like you don't want it to look like this, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you're talking about the first touch off the wall.
Off the wall.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, two things. Sorry, I thought it was first touch. This first touch is important because if you don't get a good, like, kind of setup touch here, if you bounce it too high, like, good luck. Yeah, it's not an air dribble, right? Or even if you go a little bit, like you could recover this as a high rank player. Like you'd have to use 2 jumps and really get out. But it's, yeah, we're struggling to create in that position. So you're saying after you get the ball rolling, this touch.
Yes, that touch is the one that I either throw it too far or like too high, or it goes down the wall instead of out.
Yeah. So couple keys on getting an effective self setup from like this kind of position on the field. So something we're teaching in our new air dribble tutorial is something we're calling the clock method. So you imagine, put this here. So you imagine the ball is a clock. Now you imagine it's a train, and I'm saying you're on the right track. No. So you go here. Why is this not working? I need this to be borderless. Borderless. The US on, okay, here we go. So what we're trying to do here is we're imagining the ball is a clock. And the mistake most players make is when they're trying to strike an air dribble setup from this part of the field, the farther we are back, so think like by my pink drawing here, the more we need to be behind the ball. This sounds intuitive, but like you imagine, 9, 12, 3, 6, right? We want to be hitting near 9 the farther we are back. And if we're near their net, you want to hit near 6 under the ball. In some cases, even around like 5. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. Like sometimes you want to get on the wrong side of the ball, and I'll show you what I mean by this. But as an example, when this ball is rolling up the wall, what you don't want to do, and this works fine for an air dribble near the net, but if you get under it and you get a setup like this, yes, this was a good first touch, but I just can't carry this down the field. And the reason is because my first touch when I'm in my back half needs to be high, hard, and far, not just like up above me, right? So I'm hitting there near like 6, 7 for all the kids watching, Zoomers, but we really want to be hitting near 7, 8. It's like you watch me hit this here, I'm going to really come behind the ball and see how that first touch goes high and far.
Yeah.
I'll let this one play back. This is very important when you're doing self setups, at least in your back half, right? See how I intentionally go behind the ball and then I take it at the net. Make sense?
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, the second most common question I get is, Luke, when do I jump? Some people say jump before you hit the ball, as you hit the ball. Some people say after. It depends on the phase or the height of the ball. So if the ball is rolling up the wall when you connect with it, if it's rolling up the ball when you connect with it, you can just drive into it. And this is because when the ball is climbing up the wall at the start, it stays glued, okay? But when the ball hits its peak height, I'll show you an example of this. When the ball hits its peak height here, and this wasn't a smooth example, but I'll front flip into this. When it hits at peak height, it starts to fall off the wall. There's a larger and larger gap that gets created. And so when it's at its peak height, we call this phase 2 in our air dribble system, you actually want to tap jump. So if I'm waiting to get the first touch now, I tapped my jump. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we use like a tap jump takeoff. We don't drive through it and then jump. We tap jump because I waited until it started to hit that peak height. And therefore, I had to tap jump in order to get that same both oomph in the air and also to match the separation of the ball from the wall. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And so the last sort of level of this is sort of phase 3. Like if the ball is falling down, we need to be using a hold jump. And this is a little harder to emulate in this specific self setup. But if the ball is actively falling from the wall, I think this was a good example, you need to hold jump in some cases. And this is because we really need to fight the balls falling down, so we need more height. And we also need to match the separation. So there I waited a long ways, and I was holding jump the whole way.
Okay.
And so the answer is, like, it depends on all these setups. In some cases, like, if you mess your setup up loads, like, I would need to double jump out and go get that ball, right? So I'm not, like, saying it's, like, just that simple, but that's a great, like, foundation for you to build your air dribble control.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So somebody says, so never tap jump phase 1. That's not exactly true. Some setups will require you to tap jump, but in most cases, when we're in our back half like this and we're rolling the ball and it's in phase 1, we do not need to. We can just hit the ball like that and then jump after. And this is probably the simplest way to score an air dribble. Minus the resets. And the spins, I realize.
I don't think I'm going for flip resets anytime soon.
That's okay. What my goal for you is that your air dribble could look something like this. You hit it forward, You tap it out, and see it's a little difficult if you don't flip. I would flip, I would tap it up, and I would jump. And you see if you don't go quick enough, like if you tap it up and then you start letting it fall and then you try to drive, you don't quite get enough height on the ball. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if you go here and you try to tap set up it's just going to the midfield. It's not working. So you need to jump at that point. But if you hit the ball while it's climbing the wall, so I'll try to show you an example. I break tap and I hit it while it's climbing the wall. See, that one is close. I have to use a flip to recreate. But ideally, if you hit it something like this and you drive up after it close, you can do the setup without jumping. And I could probably score this without a reset. And then I went through it before instinctually. I'm sorry. But yeah. So there's a couple things there. Any questions so far on those ideas?
No, those all make a lot of sense.
You'll also notice if I'm doing this phase 1 setup, phase 1 just means the ball's climbing, right? Ball's rising. I will do a slight break tap. What you don't want to do is you don't want to stay glued to the ball the whole time. If you do this, your setup's going to look like that, right? Useful if that's what you're going for. Not useful if you don't want to, like, I don't know, set up a double tap here or something. This ball you can't really create from. So after I get to the wall, I'm break tapping, and then I go after the setup, okay? So we do that because we need the ball to fall a little bit off the wall, and then we can get a nice setup, okay? And it would be my goal that your setup would look something like this.
I think that's totally doable.
Yeah. Cool. That is where I would start you. We can go over a lot of, like, kind of more advanced, let's say, setup techniques that kind of build on these things. You have, like, speed flipping into the ball. You'll notice I'm doing this thing when I take off where we call it the tornado spin takeoff. Like, I'm not just tapping air roll right here like this. I'm actually tornadoing off the wall. Looks a little bit different. With air roll right, it would look like that. And that tilts my nose down and allows me to get under the ball for the carry. So that's another small one. We tornado spin on these setups. You'll see, like, a high rank player almost always tornado spin, not just air roll.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
And there's some other unlocks too, but I'm forgetful. There are a lot of ways you can spice these up. Like, you know, if you do get a bad setup, you could jump and you could use a flip to recover it, right? This is a speed flip that I'm using midair. In some cases, you could use an empty jump, which is like I position my car kind of like here, and then I add a jump to it. That can work in situations. That's particularly good when the ball's like kind of falling down already. It's like here, boom, I kind of give it like a little more lift. And all these like resets and everything else you see me use, these are just like finishing techniques. You can do this without any of that, right?
Yeah. And for right now, just being able to do that at the enemy or at the opponent net, like, is gonna put so much pressure on them.
Yes, this would add so much more pressure in your diamond lobbies than, and this is good, but if somebody's back, they're always going to save that.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, there are a lot of ground air dribble setups here, but I think that's a good foundation for how to air dribble for diamond level. And we can obviously get to more advanced in the future. If you'd like more on this, we have a series of videos that are going out to the Rocket League Bootcamp channel. Our coach Shock, he's doing demos of them. I released one explanation, but we have more coming out on this channel over the coming days and weeks.
Okay, awesome.
So I'll put that in your write-up for future studying. But yeah, that's what I would call level 1 of air dribbling. Maybe we went a little bit into level 2, but that was mostly level 1. That's like level 4, I think. Cool. I'm going to leave you with those two things. I think that will be useful for you. I'll put the pack codes in your write-up. Anything else I can support with, Ag?
Not right now, man. I really appreciate all the information and, yeah, the packs and your explanation of what to be looking for.
Sweet. I'm glad that helps. Yeah, I think this will help you a lot, and you'll be like leagues ahead of all the other diamonds. Trust on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't get a pop reset. Okay, yeah, I'll do a quick write-up for you. I'll send it over, and cheers, my man. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Peace, dude.
See you, chat.
See ya. Chat, are we live? We'll do a couple more replays here. I got some really good questions, I gotta say. So that was pretty helpful. Hey, we even got some people watching in the community. This was unplanned. Next, we're gonna go into ag. I'll get you a write up in the next day or two. In like the same style as we've done previous write ups. And we'll put this video on the Spook Loot coaching channel too, so that way you have a VOD of it, so you can watch it back if you want. We'll cut it up and put it there. I think this will be very useful for you. And then other things. Put this on the coaching channel. I think that's it. If I missed anything, let me know. We're gonna jump to Mo. Or actually, I'll let Mo know that I'm checking it out now. Bob, checking out your replay shortly. We'll see if he joins the stage. I'll let Emery know that I'm checking out his replay shortly too. Guys, I get a lot of like these disconnects. Something got loose in my PC when I moved, I think. Something is messed up on the hard drive. It's a shame. He submitted his at 3:20 yesterday. I'll forward this to him. Questions in chat. Somebody says, hey Luke, Guys, I have an issue where, like, Restream... Okay, can somebody tell me this in chat? So, Restream used to be... So, like, I used to have a panel here. I used to have a panel on my Restream, and there was a dock, and it said chat. And now I don't have that dock anymore. So, I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody could kind of explain what happened. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't know. Like, comments appreciated. Guidance appreciated. I need an adult. I'm going to let my team know that we just finished a session. And I'll send a report to Ag. Hey, Ag, I just finished your session. We will get you detailed notes within the next 48 hours. Appreciate all the questions live. They were very helpful. We'll get this uploaded to the second channel too. Sarah, can you transcribe some notes here and get a write-up for Ag? I'm going to list 2 training packs that are important for him. We went over multi-touch training. Went over 2 packs, multi-touch training by Shock, and we also went over dribble gym by Einstein Lambda. The codes are as follows. 2 packs, we did multi-touch training by Shock. We also went over dribble gym. My text transcriber is not the best. So we'll get all those packs for him. And if you guys are looking for them too, I'll put them on screen right now so you can freeze. Well, I found multi-touch training. Why can't I find dribble gym? Here's multi-touch training. Where's dribble gym? Here it is. The dribble gym by Einstein Lambda. There we go. I think the explanation in that video of phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, basic level 1 air dribbles could go on the coaching channel as well as the RLB Rocket League Bootcamp channel. Let me know if you think it's good enough. I think it could easily be a standalone 5 to 10 minute video if we just add some music and make it vibey. And then I don't think we need to cut up the video or do anything special, but we will need a thumbnail for the video. And I think something like stop when Sarah's going to upload it and add the transcript to the Spook Loot coaching channel. What plays you select? I trained her on how to do that. However, I think we can put a thumbnail on it that says something like stop sitting back post or stop going back post, because there were several instances where that was relevant. I think that'll be useful. Guys, what's the easiest way to check all of my chats? said this is delayed. Somebody says ICL, this chat is delayed so much. I wonder if there's something going wrong with the stream right now. Let me refresh it. I'm doing his write up right now. Okay, no, it's caught up. Something's refreshed. We should be fine. Okay, let me add the restream chat box here. Yeah, I don't know why. I think the restream chat is bugging. I might need to use a different plugin next time because restream seems to be giving me some issues. Send this to Sarah. I'll send this to Sal. Cool. This is live coaching peak GC3 player. Yeah, like the titles didn't update, which is annoying. Like I updated them on here, and it's supposed to be a different thumbnail. It's supposed to be coaching diamond players. Something is a little wrong with the stream. Hopefully that fixes it. It says updating. It's just stuck on updating. Yeah, something's glitched, man. Restream is wonky. Alright, I think I'm gonna have to use a different plugin. It says upgrade to enjoy advanced features, and I swear I was upgraded previously, but now they want me to pay for this. So yeah, frick that, right, chat? Frick that. I don't want to upgrade. Okay. Let's go through this. Hey, we got Steven in the audience. Hey, Sapphire. How you doing? Let me add you guys over here so I can at least keep track of y'all. And I'll